Hello and welcome to another action-packed, fun-filled, exciting episode of Grow Like a Super Pro. I'm your host, Rory, with SuperCloset, and in today's episode we'll cover the exciting topic of germination. Now let's get growing. The first step in successfully germinating would be to gather all of our supplies. Of course, we're gonna need seeds, a suitable medium, a pH testing kit, a TDS pen, a water basin, a seedling tray, a humidity dome, and a seedling heat mat, or a device designed specifically to help you germinate. Now that we've gathered all our supplies, let's move on to conditioning our medium. The medium that we're going to be using today is rock wool cubes. We like to use this medium because it works really well and it's quite versatile. It'll feed into just about any hydroponic system and work for soil as well. Now, when we talk about conditioning this medium, we're really talking about pre-soaking the cubes. We need to make sure that we're dealing with a suitable water supply, so in actuality what we're doing is conditioning the water. How do we condition the water or tell if we're working with a suitable water supply? With this TDS pen and pH testing kit. The TDS pen, or total dissolved solids, measures the mineral content of your water. If the mineral content is too high, you could have excessive salt buildups which lead to all sorts of problems like nutrient lockout, toxicity, and deficiencies. All things that we just don't want to deal with. So first we're going to test the TDS of our water, and you can see with our good old-fashioned San Francisco tap water, we have a reading of 38, which is completely suitable to start growing. If you have a reading that is above 200, you might want to consider using a filtered water supply. The next key measurement would be our pH. For growing purposes, you're looking for a pH of about 5.5 to 5.8. We're going to be looking for a nice yellow color in this testing cup. So we're going to go ahead and fill it up with our water supply and drop in a few drops, and as you can see, this pH is way too high. This green color is about an 8.0, and again, we want to bring that down to about a 5.5, which is going to be a nice yellow color. Let's do that now. In order to bring our pH down, we're going to use the acidic pH down solution that comes with your pH testing kit. Please understand that if our pH was too low, we would be using the basic pH up, but that's not the case for us. Our pH was a reading of 8.0, so we're going to be using this acidic solution. Make sure not to use too much because a little bit of this solution goes a long way. We're going to squirt it into our water supply and then take another reading. Now that we've successfully conditioned our water, it's time to condition our cubes. Now, there's a common misconception out there that rock wool needs to be soaked for 24 hours before using. This just isn't the case. A simple, thorough soaking will be enough to offset the existing pH in the rock wool and give us that nice 5.5 that we're looking for. Now, after we soak this, we're going to want to immediately place into the seedling tray with the whole side up. You want to make certain not to compress or smush the rock wool, as it needs to remain porous in order for the sprout to work its way through the surface and the roots to work their way through the bottom. Now that we've conditioned our cubes, we're ready to insert our seeds. Almost. First, we're going to conduct a little seed inspection because unfortunately, not all seeds are created equally. We're going to want to look at the seeds we have, and here we have Royal Burgundy beans, and we're going to want to conduct a nice visual inspection, noting the size, color, texture, and looking at the surface for any cracks or abrasions. Going to want to conduct a nice gentle pinch test, which will allow us to see if the seed is brittle and potentially dried out on the inside. Once we've selected our biggest and nicest looking seeds, we're ready to plant. Now that we've selected the best of the best, or the cream of the crop, it's finally time to start planting. Seeds like to be anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches below the Earth's surface. As a general rule of thumb, the smaller the seed, the closer to the surface you should place it. Rock wool has a standard depth of 3/4 of an inch. This works great for most seeds. So now we could go ahead and start inserting these little beans. Contrary to popular belief, it does not matter which end goes in first. At this point, there is no top or bottom to this seed. You can rest assured that whichever end you put in first, Mother Nature will find a way. We're going to go ahead and insert these into the rock wool holes. And we're going to give a gentle pinch to the surface just so that that hole gets covered. Remember, we don't want to smush or compress the rock wool because that'll make it difficult for the sprout to rise to the surface. But we do want to make sure that that entry hole is covered so no light penetrates and reaches the seed. If you're having trouble pinching the hole, go ahead and just take an edge of the rock wool and give it a gentle stuff into the top of the hole. You'll be all set. Now that these little ladies are nicely nestled in their new home, it's time to talk about their ideal environment. Seeds like to be in a nice, moist, dark environment with a temperature of about 78 to 84 degrees and high humidity. Now, the moisture from the initial dip of this rock wool will last about a week. Once it starts to dry out, simply give it another dousing with the 5.5 pH water. The humidity can be increased utilizing this dome and setting it on top of the seedling tray, and we can increase the temperature with this seedling heat mat. Now, if you don't have these items, don't worry. SuperCloset has made them all available to you in our total germination package. It includes everything you see here and more. Let's get these girls into a dark space. We're going to put our seeds right in the bottom of this SuperCloset Deluxe. This cloning chamber provides the ideal environment for germinating seeds, cloning, and early vegetative growth. With the lights off, we're going to place the tray right on top of the seedling heat mat that we already have in place, and we are good to go. Now, before we shut the door, I'd like to bring your attention to one other great option that you have for germinating seeds. This right here is the SuperCloset Super Cloner. And while the name might just imply super cloning, this system is also capable of super germinating as well. It's a deep water culture system and features hydroponics. Now, we've already filled this reservoir to the bottom of the net cups with the preconditioned 5.5 pH water. So we're ready to take our rock wool and stick it right into these net cups. And now with the placement of the Humidity Superdome, we are all set. So now let's take a step back, we'll let Mother Nature run its course, and check back in a few days.